Hello everybody, welcome to Altcoin Buzz Trading. I'm Randy. Today we are going to discuss Bitcoin. We'll probably dive a little bit into DOT, and I want to discuss one of the better trades you can have in a choppy to weak market. And it's not a particular coin, it's more of a way to view the coins and kind of how to find some strategies around them. Okay, so let's get to that. But first, we're going to talk about BTC because we always start there. Why not? Bitcoin did roll over a little bit yesterday. We noted the weakness in the chart. Stepping in, we had opportunities to move up. It didn't happen. Now we're rolling over and breaking our inclining trend line here, which just implies that the momentum has waned away. And so we are looking for that further downside action until if and when we get some additional support. But that additional support has not been enough really to get us into some bigger levels. This is our daily chart on the right here, and we have a declining trend line here, and this declining trend line has yet to be breached. And remember how I mentioned this inclining trend line meant that, momentum had been broken, and this side, momentum to the downside, has not been broken because we're respecting it. So we failed to go up. We're continuing to go down in the bigger picture. The market will generally undulate in these kind of zigzag patterns. I hope everybody understands that. And those can generally be defined by a couple of opposing trend lines. And so what you tend to notice is things moving in that direction. Elliott waves kind of works like that. Some chart pattern guys work like that a little bit. Obviously, trendline guys work like that and understand that concept. But if you're new to trading, that's an interesting concept to understand. It's just opposing strength and resistance lines, and then trying to ascertain, if we're close to a trend line, is there enough strength to get through it, or weakness, depending on the direction of the trend line. Right now, Bitcoin's trend lines are basically bearish. You have all the trend lines pointing in that right direction. Trend lines can also provide support, which is what this larger box is providing. A box is just 4 trend lines. And here are supports at 24, 7, 27. And we're well above that at 26. So we'll see where we end up at the end of that. So if we come all the way back down here again, we would just have a lower high, which would imply some additional maybe downside pressure, maybe enough to take us down below this 24,000 level into lower and lower prices. But we'll see about that. We have to see how we behave down here at the 24. Okay, so that's BTC in a nutshell, kind of giving up some support, which brings me to something I've often said on my other channel, and I don't know if anyone's taken me up on this, and I haven't really traded on this concept either, but it's something that I've noticed continuously, and I do want to share it with you. This is going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to look at a lot of coins. If that makes you uncomfortable, you're probably on the wrong channel anyways. So let's kind of dig into this. So I want to preface this by saying I'm going to look at Bitcoin pairs. What that means is a chart paired with Bitcoin, not a chart paired with the US dollar. The US dollar is pretty rock solid in terms of a currency, right? It's the world's reserve currency, and it is the baseline monetarily for the number 1. So anything that we look at versus the dollar is basically going to be flat. It's just Bitcoin's volatility. It's just Ethereum's volatility, okay? It's not Ethereum versus Bitcoin's volatility. We're going to look at charts that put a volatile altcoin versus a volatile Bitcoin. And the dynamic here is that generally Bitcoin, see if I can get my hands in the camera here. Where do I got? I got right here. Generally, Bitcoin's volatility is lower than altcoin's volatility. So by definition, unless an altcoin is extremely strong, it's going to underperform Bitcoin in the longer term, okay? And let's go to some of these BTC pairs. You can see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to expand my chart here, and I want to just click on the first coin in my, so I've got a list of BTC pairs here. And if I go to my list of lists, there's 160 coins in here. I go through this list every day. This is one of the lists I go through every day. And I want to point out to you, this is the all-time chart here of 1 inch. And most of the time it hasn't gone in 1 inch's favor versus BTC. And so this is kind of what I'm referring to, is there's this general downside bias to almost every altcoin chart. There just is. And when you're looking for trades, you're looking for the best of the best, right? If I were to say, here's a list of 160 trades, would you just randomly pick one and trade it? No. You would somehow try to find the best particular chart and go for it, right? That's what you would do. So if you're looking to short something versus Bitcoin, you want to find the weakest of the weak. You want to find the one that doesn't hold up versus Bitcoin. Obviously here in the early days, during that particular time, it was doing better than Bitcoin. Let's go down the list. Aave. I'm going to take this on auto. There we go. So Aave obviously has had its ups and downs versus Bitcoin, right? This probably would not be one to employ a general shorting strategy on. Cardano has also had its ups and downs. So as we go through this list, what you're going to notice is the more quality the token is, it's going to hold up better. 1inch, pretty good token. Aave, Cardano, those are all well-known brand name tokens. Those are probably not going to be the ones you want to short. But something like Algorand, and apologies to all the Algorand fans out there, but for this particular strategy, if you're looking to short versus Bitcoin, this may be a coin to consider. Now, I also want to mention something else. When you're shorting something versus Bitcoin, you actually get paid Bitcoin if you make a profit. And so that's another kind of side benefit. And when you're looking, one thing that sticks to my mind is some horizontal supportive trend lines in these situations, right? And these are the situations where you're really looking to short. And a lot of them right now, as we go down this list, we're going to find have already broken that or are on the verge of breaking that. So let me go back to auto here. So Alice obviously has had a really hard time versus BTC. This is in a perpetual downtrend, will likely continue to be in a downtrend. And really, as you go down this list, if you just find the weakest of the weak, the ones that form horizontal bases that drop down, you're going to do very well in those. So Ape obviously here just cascaded lower. Here's one of those larger horizontals I was talking about. Breaks that, never looks back. Why would it? This is a piece of garbage, right? If you're looking to short something versus BTC to make BTC, first of all, one thing with shorting, you can only make 100%. So that's a 75% drop, and it doesn't look like it's done yet. AR here. So just quite literally go down the list, make a list of the weakest coins, and what you can do is use that list to get into coins when they look like they're about to break down. And this gets you a number of things. In a choppy market like we're in right now, choppy markets are very difficult to trade. I've been throwing trades at you on the main Altcoin Buzz channel and also on this one for this week, only 3 days now. And most of those haven't worked out because the market is just super choppy. And that's not a fault of mine, to be quite honest with you. That's a fault of the markets. And we don't like to trade in these environments. I don't like to do anything in these environments. But if you have to do something, PancakeSwap here is a good one. You want to short these weak tokens, and shorting versus Bitcoin gets you to one of those situations where, okay, you're going with the market by understanding that volatility component and that Bitcoin is less volatile than altcoins. You have a directional trade by default, which is actually unique in any kind of trading, unless you're trading like currencies. There's going to be some currencies that probably also have the same thing versus the dollar. But if you're trading two very, and I can't think of in the currency market, but there may be a trade there to be had in the actual currencies market, because that's another market where you can trade like the New Zealand whatever versus the Australian whatever or the British whatever, right? So you can trade those against each other. You can find the least volatile one of those and just trade volatility against it. And so here you're doing the same thing, PancakeSwap looking like, and I pointed this one out too on my other channel, is that this one's going in a horizontal, looking to break down, already breaking down as a matter of fact. So you can basically take anything versus BTC that looks very weak and short it, and you kind of have an edge on the market by default. And so I think that's a unique strategy. And I'm not imploring, obviously this is not financial advice, but this is a strategy that if you can find a way to make this work for whatever trading style that you're trying to work, you kind of have an edge by default, and that's never a bad thing. And in this choppy environment, any kind of edge is better than no kind of edge. So even if you're making Bitcoin as Bitcoin's going down, you're still making Bitcoin. We all know that Bitcoin's going to be a little bit volatile, but in time it will come back. And let's say you have I don't know, some of this Cody, whatever this thing is. Say you have some of this Cody and you short it, you make some BTC. I don't think that's a bad thing considering Cody value is going down versus BTC, and BTC is kind of the default cryptocurrency, right? So it's not such a bad thing. So keep the strategy in mind. If you guys have any comments on it, down in the comments down below, be happy to discuss it with you. Obviously, with any trading strategy you employ, there's times to take profits, there's times to take losses, and you have to understand when those are in all these strategies. But I think this is an interesting one that I really haven't put out there in public before, but hope you find it valuable. Please share the video if you do. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below, whatever else YouTube wants you to do. Who knows these days. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.